Hey everybody, welcome back to this all-day live coverage from day 6 of CMA Industry Week. And this morning we are showcasing Sobel Imports, distributor located in Montreal. Really well positioned to help everybody out, from Ontario all the way out east and really everywhere else in between. Joining me this morning from Sobel, we're going to switch up the characters. I know you guys all used to seeing Gaetan. We're going to introduce you to another sales representative from Sobel. His name is Dennis Raymond. Welcome, Dennis.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. So on this session, Dennis, we're going to dive in a little bit more about car audio stuff. Right. A small little brand you people might have heard of called Pioneer Electronics. Now, from what I understand, you guys are a big distributor for Pioneer in Canada.
Yes, we do. We are.
And how long has it been that you've been with Pioneer?
A long time, maybe 10 years.
10 years, like yeah. A long time. Yeah. And a lot of dealers tuning in. This is no surprise that if you're looking for Pioneer products, you can certainly connect with Sobel. Purpose of this session is to kind of showcase a couple of the new products coming out for 2021, get people all excited. And of course, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to get our expert from Pioneer. His name. Oh yes, sir.
I just want to invite everybody to listen to the presentation very carefully, because Sobel will do some draws on April 19th, and the people's going to need the magic words to participate to the draw. So we're going to have 2 modules series with 1 year subscription free and 2 pair of Pioneer speakers. So the magic word is going to be said during the presentation sometimes.
So there's a magic word. I obviously don't know what this magic word is, but okay, fair enough. There's some contest going on. The dealers listening in, you heard from Dennis. Pay attention. Could win some cool stuff, including some Sirius XM and some Pioneer gear. All right, let's go ahead and bring in our expert, Mr. Robert Money from Pioneer. Welcome back again to Industry Week.
Hi, Ben. Hi,
How's it going, Rob?
Hi, Bob.
So, Robert, we had a pretty intense training with you guys, with you and Harry earlier on. So I'm very curious of how you're going to direct this training. I'm sure you're going to bring even more excitement and more stuff that dealers need to know about this season.
Yeah, really. Actually, I think the 2 hours we did on Friday was not long enough to cover all the topics we had to cover.
We had to rush. We had to really, just stay on top of it.
Just a quick comment. I think Dennis is doing long business with Sobel and Pioneer since so long that he stopped count the years. So we are in our 15 years with Sobel.
There you go. Wow, 15 years. There you go. Okay, very strong relationship. All right, let's get going, Rob. We have an hour, not even, and I know you have a lot to cover, so let's get going. I will give you the screen, and here we go. Let me get this set up. There we go.
Okay.
All right. I think we're going to start with speakers, are we not?
Yes. We'll do a bit different versus what we did last week with the coverage with the Pioneer session. So I want to have that session a bit more friendlier with you guys, in a way to cover some type of topics that we didn't have a chance to cover with the Pioneer teams when we did the session with Harry from Pioneer USA. So
okay.
Actually, we did a lot of discussion on different type of things, and one of the things that we mentioned with speakers when we had a discussion about speakers, Harry brings something on the table when we had a discussion about the difference in design between car speakers versus home speakers, and those speakers are create sound. That's the main task of speakers, but actually there's a big difference in the environment of those speakers. So you need to think totally different in the design of the speakers, not only for a manufacturing standpoint, but also about the way that we build the things to have the speakers reliable over time. Those little things start with the component itself. So if we look as an example here with the A series speakers I have, so that's a woofer from the component A series that I see here in the back. So it's a 6007C speakers. So most home speakers will still use paper-based type of cone, which is good because it is light structures, and most of the time that is a type of issues where we need to find a balance between something is light because we need to have some dynamic in a cone movement to create that audio, which is just movement of air, versus something that is rigid as a structures to avoid distortion. So many type of speakers still use paper on the home side, which is really wrong to do in a door panel for a car, especially in Canada with wintertime, humidity, and all those things. So we need to think totally a different way to bring those things to the customers for in-car use. The other main thing, top of that reliability and different material we use for that construction, is to think that most scenarios in car will be of access, right? So if you look at a piler, right door versus left door, those speaker will have a totally different type of alignment, so different distance, but also the way that we position those speakers versus my right ear or my left ear, as an example. So the spread of that sound is different, and we need to deal with it in a way to have something that will sound right, not only when you're in front of that speakers, but when you're on the side of that speakers. So this is a pretty big challenge that we see for car industries. So that's applied for the woofers, but this is really critical things when we work with those little things like the tweeter ear. So high frequencies is really really type of listening that we will have on axis, and you will lose a lot of higher frequencies when you move out of axis on the side like this. So just moving the tweeter this way in the car will create a lot of differences in the audio quality of my car, and that will make the staging different. So which means lower staging or higher staging, which is what I want in the car, or having some kind of phase shift from left to right, where I will lose details on the vocal and higher frequencies. So we need to think different. Just as an example here, if I move it closer, I don't know if I'll be able to have the right focus. Yep. So if you look at that tweeter ear, I have a kind of a plastic piece in the center section of the dome. So this is a diffuser. So it's not just something we put there to make it look cool. Okay, this is really something different in design. So we've created some kind of obstruction for the on axis to minimize the audio output for those high frequencies when I'm on axis for it, in a way to have a wider spread, but also minimizes those high frequency radiation when I'm on axis versus when I move off axis. And the main reason behind that detail is if I install the tweeter on my left side, which will be closer to my ear, and versus the right side, which will be way further in the door, but that tweeter on the right side will be more on axis to my ears versus the left side. You follow me?
100%. I mean,
okay,
everybody
good.
knows the challenge. You're dealing with a situation where the main listener is not even in the same distance between the two speakers out of the gate. Never mind the axis, the distance of the position itself. You know what I mean?
So this creates big issues, because if I have my tweeter on axis on the right side and the tweeter of axis on the left side, this means for me that I'll have two totally different tonal or audio characteristic of the things. So I need those speakers to sound pretty similar, or the right best scenarios will be perfectly matched from the left and right, which is kind of impossible to do without playing with those type of details. So one of the good way, I think, to do the demo to your customers in store for those speakers, and this is again not wrong, but we're doing it this way in store because we used to do it in a compression versus home speakers. So most of the listening session that we will do with the customers with our display when we do a session in stores with the display we use, we're asking the customers to stay in front of those speakers, which is actually kind of okay for home side. This is actually the best way to do it for home side, because when I have a stereo system at home, where I'm sitting on axis, the perfect sweet spot. But in the car, that is totally different. So I invite all our dealers and the customers listening to us to do a different type of exercise when they're listening to car speakers. So instead of staying right on the sweet spot, which totally
Move off.
is, because in car we are off axis 99% of the time. So ask the customers to move on the side. So instead of having the speaker like this in front of my face, I'll move on the side and have a listening session with off axis, which will be closer to the type of listening session I'll have in my car. And you'll be really surprised of the difference in the sound characteristic of a speakers. Maybe in some scenarios, you'll fall in love in on axis listening for a speakers, but listening to the same speakers of axis will be a totally different game. And actually, that of axis listening session will be the one that you'll have in your car. Trust me. So
much closer.
Play with it.
Yep, interesting. Different perspective, Robert. A different perspective.
Yep. So take time to listen on axis and off axis. The best speakers will be the speakers that will give you a constant audio characteristic while you move from on axis to off axis. So it's going to be hard to stay 100% the same, but the more constant you are, better it will be. So it's all about balance for that thing. Another thing that we mentioned about the power rating in the Pioneer session, we had a discussion about CTA power rating for the amplifier, right? That
speakers too.
That supply for speakers as well. So we have that CTA power rating that we've mentioned, and that was really nice things that you bring to us, Ben, by asking maybe some kind of reflection. Oh, better this way. I'm playing with the camera and the light.
Yeah,
that's a big problem. So look for that logo here, just over my finger. So you have that CDA power rating on amplifiers on each single box from good manufacturers in a way to have the right power rating. But you have the same for speakers. So if I look here, I have that same logo here for speaker power handling. So that is really important to match the power output of the amplifiers to the power output to from the amplifiers to the power input of the speakers to have the perfect match. So if I have a 75 watts amplifiers that send power or signal to a 75 watt speakers, I'll optimize the things not only for avoiding any situation where I'll blow the speakers because I'm sending too much power, but I will maximize the dynamic of that speakers because that speakers is designed to do the best performances under those specific ratings.
Those conditions. Yep, 100%.
So
I have a question for you, Rob. Can you bring back the driver from the 6.5-inch component?
Of course.
So I have two questions for you. Number one, you were mentioning about paper, about the paper and the cone. This is obviously doesn't look like paper to me. That looks like some type of polypropylene, perhaps.
Yep, it is actually. So if you look back in the 90s, Pioneer bring to the market something that you remember for sure, Ben, with high SPL tests, and we were calling it IMPP. We still are using those type of systems. So it's injected molded polypropylene. So that's the meaning of IMPP. We're still using it. Actually, that one is the black cone. It's because we have carbon-based injection top of it. So this is the advanced design material for the polypropylene.
But it's been proven to be really stand up to the climate of the car and the environment of the car.
Yeah.
Which is why you continue to use it. The other question I had, Robert, does that also come with the famous installation ring that Pioneer is known to be famous for? Of course it does. There you go.
As soon as you have the A series speakers, 6.5, 6x9 speakers, you'll have those nice multi-fit adapters in the box for free. So customers don't have to pay extra dollars for it. Don't have to deal with different type of speaker ring adapters to match the different type of car. So if you look at a closer look again, we have different tab that we can easily break or even here. This is insertion fingers. Depending on the metal sheet or the way that the door panel is designed in the car to fit the best way we can do it for the car. And it's really easy to look at it for the dealers again. So if you look on the box, just over my fingers on the right side, you just have to snap that QR code from a smartphone or tablets, and this will bring to you that PDF we created, which is an interactive PDF where you can click on the manufacturer brand, car models, and we will show you what tab to break based on the car you have to do the installation. In component speakers, we also have that little metal plate. I remember the first time I received text from technician who were asking me, what is that plate in the box? So it is a tweeter plate adapters. So we even have those pre-scored thing in a way to move the plate and secure the right installation for the tweeter, where we have small speakers on the dashboard, like 2.5 or 2 inches speakers. So you can install the easy way the tweeter from a component set without the needs of any extra tools. And talking about material, by the way, so if I look back at that little tweeter here, you see that shiny dome. It's not a metal-based type of dome. It's polyimide. Is it the right word in English? Polyimide, right?
I'm not even sure.
Okay, PI. So
yeah, there you go. So that's not an aluminum or a.
It's not an aluminum. Like most of the people looking at this will say, "Oh, it's polycarbonate." No, it's not. So it's really polymer type of material, but it's called polyimide or imide. Polyimide in English.
Yes.
I prefer the other way to call it. You know the other way to call it? It's called Captain. Every guys will say, "Oh, I know Captain." So that's the same material that we use to do the voice coiformer on all speakers we have in the industries. Let's say 99% of the speakers in the industry. So the cylinder piece where we are winding the coil for speakers are made of Captain. So this is material, heat resistant material, will not degrade or change the physical aspect. So really strong to heat stress or any possible heat stress. So that is the type of tweeters we have in all A-series speakers, no matter if it's coaxial or component.
Let's move over to the deeper frequencies, Rob.
Yep. Subwoofers. So we have different type of subwoofers. We have the classic, so the conventional standard depth subwoofers. We have at Pioneer, of course, the shallow depth subwoofers, like the standard or preloaded. So those speakers at Sobel are available in the A series. You can buy these as a standalone pieces, slim subdrivers, so shallow depth, or you can buy these with a preloaded box like the one I have in my hands for the 8 inches. So it's ready to go, ready to install with the speaker grill on it. Nice little attention that we put to the detail. So if you look at the speaker grill itself here, it's not really a flat section, so it's curved. And the way that we designed it is to increase rigidity to avoid any ringing from the grill itself, make it a better and tougher type of grill, especially if you apply something over it at the same time.
To make it
And,
anti-resonant.
Yep. Top of it, if you look at the shape, not for fun. So we have a slant shape here, so small angle. If you look at the boxes, especially with the 10 inches subwoofers, which is the most popular one, we can fit that 10 inches boxes under the seat of a full-size pickup truck, like kind of most popular one in Canada, which is F-Series from Ford, or Dodge Ram for the Chrysler people in you. So those type of subwoofers can fit directly under the rear seat because we took time to do all the possible measurement to make sure and validate that these boxes will not be too high or too long to not match perfectly and clear all the seat cushion a perfect way to blend in the car and to maximize the space available from that thing. So even the grill with the angle we have on the grill are specifically made to match those angle and keep the best clearance we can keep in the design. Same thing for the boxes. You don't have to stress about doing the match between the drivers and the cabinet itself. So it's really easy for you to go with those preloaded boxes. For those guys who prefer the traditional way of doing the business, really please take time to match the speaker cabinet with the woofer spec. It's really important. We are talking about balance here. So it's better to have a good 10 inches with the right spec and the right box to match that 10 inches spec than having a bigger speakers like a 12 inches, but without the right box for the subwoofer design. So that 10 inches within the best environment will always outperform the 12 inches that is not in the right box. Not to mention that you will lose in some situation lower end, or you will have poor sound qualities, but that can also affect the life of the subwoofers. As an example, a smaller sealed cabinet will decrease a lot the lower bass extension, so I'll lose all these things. But in most situations, customers will have their reaction to increase the power, and that will destroy the drivers. Same type of thing for a vent cabinet. So if my vent is not properly tuned, so a bit too high, then I will create stress situation where the excursion of the drivers below that tuning point will overreact, and I will lose the control of that drivers. And at the same time, the power handling of the subwoofers below that tuning frequencies is falling drastically. So it is really important to find the best match. In those scenarios, if you're not sure, just ask the guys at Sobel. They have the tech support with Pioneer teams in a way to give you the best match possible for those boxes. But really, please match those things if you don't want to end up with a divorce.
All right. What do we want to talk about next, Robert?
Amplifiers. We talk about that little things. I know that, by the way, we've received a lot of feedback, Ben, from Friday session when we introduced those little amplifiers to the market with you. And we received a lot of questions. And we were surprised, by the way, by the feedback received also from the quick video that we did on the gain setting. When I work with that things, especially that nice little black beast here in my hand, I need to do a proper gain setting. So we were squeezed a bit in time on the gain setting, and we finalized the first block the training session with a small video on that gain setting, and the question received made me rethink about something different to explain what is gain setting for people who don't have any electronic degree or are a bit lost in those things. So I think the best way to compare a gain setting on the amplifier and volume control will be to compare it with the water pipe. Okay, so think about having a water pipe of 6 inches diameters, which is your source, and if you have the gain setting on the amplifier with a different water pipe that I connect both inline, that will feed my water to my amplifier. My water is my music, right? The air in my water pipe is noise, something I don't want. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So if I have a water pipe this size, which is the source, and I want to open the valve and go into an amplifiers with a gain like this, what this will create. So I will increase the pressure on the amplifiers because I will try to push lots of water from that big pipe into a smaller pipe. So this will create too much pressure that create kind of distortion. So this is a scenarios that I don't want to have, because it will create situation where my amplifiers will not be able to handle it properly. And the other thing is the same scenario. So if I have a water pipe this big and I increase the gain too big on my amplifiers, what will happen is, even if that pipe is big, what the only things I'll do is I'll have 50% filled with waters and 50% filled with noise because my gain are too high. So I'll send more noise or more air to my amplifiers. So it is really important to understand that even if you're turning on or off one valve somewhere, it's all about balance. Even if I'm turning out or opening up the valve on the gain side more, if I don't have the juice to feed the things with the source, I'll create nothing more. So I will just increase the sensitivity. So I'll increase the noise and the air from the water pipe because I don't have enough water to fill that bigger pipe. So it's all about.
You need to create a visual to that.
Yeah, I'll do a Super Mario Bros. Thing.
And can I want to say this, Robert. I mean, I do appreciate Pioneer for this. You know, here you are with an opportunity to just talk product, but what you're really providing is some education on how to sell car audio in general, because that affects everybody.
Even if you have the best tool or the best product in your hands, if you're not installing it properly, will not work. Same thing for the gain, by the way, or the volume. So even if you're setting those volume properly from the source to the amplifiers, as an example, if you have poor quality recording at the source, it will generate the same poor result at the end.
Well, you might also add some distortion on top of the poor quality.
Yeah. So if you have, let's say it this way, call it true. So if you have shitty sound at the source, it's going to be shitty scenario at the end with bigger type of result. So really important. So match not only the power spec from the speakers and amp, but also match the gain from the amplifier to the source. If you have the best scenarios, again, Pioneer sources with Pioneer amplifiers, that is really, really simple to do. So if you have a 2-volt RCA output from our regular line, then you just need to set your gain at the amplifier to STD for standard gain setting on the amp. So you have a specific mark for that. If you have a high volt RCA from top of the line, like our touchscreen DMH, then you have a H mark for high volt, and then you set the gain this way. Not higher, not lower. It's not a volume control. Really, it's to match the source to the amplifiers in a way to achieve the best scenarios. Good.
Very, very good. Now, are we? What else did you want to talk about amplifiers? Anything in specific? I mean, we already went over that. That new unit that's going on there.
Yep. If you look at that new unit, because you bring that again, we did a nice video with the introduction. We talk about with IP certification. We talk about different type of certifications. So here we have a piece that is IP67. So as I already mentioned, it is really important for you guys to understand the IP rating. So it's not just about a moisture or dust rating that's certified that the amp will do the task in such type of scenarios. It's about all the ASTM certification or SAEJ 1171 for marine speakers. So again, there's a lot of stamp on our boxes, and we're not the guys who created those stamps or tests or certification. Of course, we did the test when we did the product development, but those certification are third-party certification. So we need to make the product the right way to do and achieve the good result to being able to have those certification on box in the product. So that IP67 mean that I'm fully dust proof certified. This is the highest rank of IP rating for any type of dust ingress. If I look at moisture ingress, we have the grade 7 from the IP6. First digit is dust. Second digit is moisture. So 7, which means is 1 meter for 30 minutes. The one grade higher than this will be IP 68 as an example. So the 8 will be really lower depth. So as an example, my dive computer is IP 68, but this is a scuba dive computer.
I'm not sure there's an application for that for audio, but
so yeah. Like the question I received from one guy who asked, "Am I able to do that with the amplifier? Connect that things with my connector and drop it in the water and still have audio fully functional from it?" And the answer is yes. But the main goal is to keep you and the boat over the water, not under the water, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
That's why we designed that things with that little connectors. So even if you look on the internal design of the amplifiers, we don't have any wires, any open component, any relay to turn on the amplifier, by the way, for that marine amplifier. So we mentioned it. We have the SAEJ 1171 certification, which means you can install the Pioneer Marine amplifiers in engine compartment or where you have the fuel tank located there without any issues or being afraid to create some kind that can ignite from vapor of gas or something like this. So this amplifier have all the certification to do that. This is the type of certification that boat manufacturers ask for.
I think, Denis, this is a unit that you're going to do very well in, especially in power sports, in marine application, the size of it, the power draw of it, the certifications of it. What do you think, Denis?
Absolutely. I mean, especially this year, I think marine side is going to be very, very strong, and we have everything we need for that. So, yeah, very optimistic.
Cool. Is that shipping yet, or when is that shipping, that model?
We will ship officially April 1st. And the good news is, Denis,
What's that?
You can say it, Denis.
we will have the Marine Pioneer this year for Quebec.
So they already received or will receive the missing boxes this week, and they will be able to ship end of this week marine products.
All right,
So
there you go, big announcement.
So we're not just launching product. We
Shipping
have the
too.
product in stock for that, and that is really critical for the cardio market, especially these days.
Well, yeah, and timing, right? The snow is melting, spring is coming, the tarp is coming off the boats. This is it. This is where you need to have those products going out right now, right? So, okay, we got to skip quickly over to touchscreen receivers. Let's talk about some touchscreen.
Yep. Touchscreen receivers. We had a nice presentation on the Pioneer session that all the dealers can revisit by the on-demand on your website, Ben. I'll not go over that thing, but this is really nice things that we've developed. So we have the custom series. We have the tablet screen, which is the type of iPad floating on the dashboard. We have the standard single in, doubled in, shallow depth, and standard depth. So no matter the mechanical integration of the needs you have, I'm pretty sure that you'll find a solution within Pioneer lineup with Sobel that can fit your needs. So no matter if it's a floating type of dashboard like the new Mazda 3, some Toyota car, the different type of shallow depth requirement, or even some situation where we have, even if we have the space for doubled in installation, but we want to have bigger screen, like the Ford F-150 is another great example where dealers, customers want to fit big screens. So the DMH-WT 8600 NEX is one of the main destination, and we have really strong feedback from the industries and customers asking for that unit. One of the key features of those units, no matter if it's from a DMH W4600, which is the standard doubled in shallow depth, to that big 8600, passing by the CI custom integration type of product, we've developed something that is really cool for the connected part of that things. We all in the industry talk about CarPlay, Android Auto, but the new in the game is actually Amazon with Alexa system. I'll just mute my because I don't want her to to give us some feedback. But we have Alexa now in the business, and they're really strong. Actually, I think they own in the North American market close to 80% of the market share for AI at home. So this is a mandatory piece to go when you want to have interaction with AI. The way we did it with Pioneer, instead of going the typical way of using the Alexa app on the smartphone as a tunnel, we developed something really special. So we have a dedicated chipset in those DMH model. So that's why we call it Alexa built-in. The way it works, so as soon as the receiver will be connected through the internet, no matter if you are using your cell phone by sharing the Wi-Fi or having a dedicated hotspot, the receivers will be totally independent and standalone pieces. So you'll be able to have typical interaction you have, like confirming if your garage door is open or not, or turning on the light or whatever, or unlocking the door. But you'll be able to do also direct interaction with the unit for a safer ride and faster way to interact with the unit. But as easy as just saying, Alexa, ask Pioneer to set my bass to medium, or Alexa, turn the ask Pioneer to select FM tuner with preset 1, and the audio receivers, the DMH unit, will just react to what you ask, instead of having to park the car aside in a safe place, apply the handbrake, go in the configuration menu, audio, then a specific audio setting that you want to change. So it's way more complex to do it this way. We'll still do it this way, and that was the way to do it in the past years. But now we just say, Alexa, ask Pioneer to set my EQ to powerful, and done.
Can I say something, Rob? For years and years, we've always been trained on the different menus and how to get to them. And this is all great when you're in a shop. But the end user today who's coming in for an Android Auto or a CarPlay unit will never figure that out. Like, I'm just saying, like, a lot of them are not car audio savvy. They're not. But you show them an Alexa, dude, I order my toilet paper with Alexa.
Why?
It's what it is. This is how we are living today, and people are used to it. So it's actually I believe when that type of customer sees that logo, and you can show that customer that demo on your, in the shop, it just makes sense. You don't even need to teach them. Just tell her what you wanted to do.
Because it's natural.
They already know.
We're talking to each other, so it's totally natural to go this way.
And the customer already knows. You don't have to train the customer on Alexa.
Yeah.
They already know how to use Alexa.
If they don't know, once they will try it, they will love
They'll
it.
figure it out pretty fast. Yeah.
I agree with you. So that is really, really, really cool thing. So that is for touchscreen, Ben. But we have another aspect for, like you mentioned, the new car guys or the young owner of car. But we forgot to mention one thing. So we have here marine receivers.
Marine receiver. Okay.
Yep. That goes with the same amplifiers and speakers lineup we have. We had a discussion about SmartSync apps for car. And you were really impressed about the way that we integrate that touchscreen interface from the smartphone processing power.
Extra screen real estate, easy GUI. GUI. That's my new word of the week. I never called it GUI before.
Graphic user interface.
Now I'm calling it GUI. I'm also calling RGBs Argaba. But anyhow, the graphic user interface, right? You're doubling up your real estate.
Yeah.
So, whatever you have with the unit is one thing, but your phone obviously is the other. Anyhow, yes.
You extract more things from things you already have in your pocket. So any people who will hear that will be happy to hear that, because I don't have to spend more. I have something in my pocket, and you just told me that I'm able to do more with the things I already have. That's nice.
That's great.
So think about that same type of thing for marine. So instead of calling Waze, it will interact with the marine maps chart plotter.
Navigational chart plotters.
So it will give you also the opportunity to have, and this is applicable for marine, but also for car. Think about big recreational vehicle or the big boat where I don't have any possible line of sight with the receivers. What will I do with the higher remote? Or if I'm in the boat and I'm not close to a wired remote control.
Oh, you're talking about being physically far from the actual unit that I can still pull up my phone because I'm connected and still control it remote. I understand what you're saying. Okay.
So it's not just a remote control, because you have the visual confirmation. So it's two-way communication, wireless, two-way communication between the receivers and the smartphone.
So check this out. I would say every marine unit that I have seen so far is completely based only on maximum connectivity being Bluetooth.
Yeah,
that's all I've seen so far. This is the first time now that you're telling me that there is a radio designed marine grade that I could use my phone as a full controller for all the functions
with all the visual information and confirmation.
For the unit. Yes, very interesting.
So which means I can do it from the front of the boat to the back on the boat, no matter where I am.
On the dock. I'm not even on my boat. I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's typical scenarios and also type of thing why the most customers now asking for swivel brackets for the tower speakers, because they want to flip the towers when they beach the boat and do a party with a friend.
That's called party mode.
Yeah.
Party mode. Yeah. So that means full function control. That means I could go to my Sirius XM. I could go AM FM. I can go to my
every single thing that you can do in front of the receivers, you can do it from the smartphone. Yep.
DSP if there is, whatever it is, it's full. Wow, yeah, that's an interesting application.
You can even do seek and memorize a new station from
your
the smartphone.
But basically, whatever you can do there, you can do here.
Yep, with visual confirmation. That is really powerful.
While you're drinking on your beverage on the back of the pontoon.
Yeah, alcohol-free beverage.
Of course,
all the time.
But you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get up, go, like, whatever the boat is, depending on what situation you're in.
Yeah,
that is very interesting. Okay,
good,
cool, good point. Very nice point. Rob, you got 5 minutes, buddy. We got to zip through.
I'll do quick.
Okay.
We had another chat with IPX Rating, ASTM rating. By the way, those are ASTM D4339 for UV light, which mean 15 hours chest without having any issue for color change, glue of the suspension that will break and make the suspension separate from the cone itself because it's thermal bonded. So the cone itself for marine grades speakers with Pioneer, like those TSMA speakers, are actually monocoque construction. So it's a glue-less design.
Glue-less. That's a new word.
You love that word.
Glueless.
So actually, glue will be the first thing that will degrade over UV.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's the hardware that the metal. It's not the metal that degrades. It's the bond between the adhesive agent on the surround to the cone. That's the first thing that goes.
Yep. So composite material, no rusty situation. This is a thermal composite material, so it will act at the same time as a heat sink for the magnet and the voice coil. So better power handling, constant drive, no matter the drift, the system will act as a buffer to compensate for the temperature change over a stressful situation. Not type of cheap plastic that will degrade over time or will have a reaction over the heat stress from the magnet. We think about all the details. So even the spider in the back here, if you see where my finger is a waterproof design spider. So it will let the heat and possible humidities goes out from the voice coil while we drive the speakers. But even if I pour water on that spider, it is a repellent type of material.
I'm going to drop some science. That is a selectively permeable membrane, folks.
Wow. Okay.
Humidity out, but no moisture in.
That's it. So
it's kind of like a Gore-Tex jacket.
Yep, I want to say that ground level. Right. Yep. So the same type of Gore-Tex jacket that the sporty guys have. Mm-hmm. This is the same type of reaction that you will have from that material. We did it even further in the design. So if you look at that tweeter, we did a specific design for the tweeter. The tower speakers have offset alignment in the design. It is really, if you look here. And it's not a mistake in the design. So it's really intended to have the best listening session where you will be far from the boat with the wig and do your sport activity. So you'll be with the better staging as you can when you are on the boat. So same scenarios I explained earlier. With the car speakers, you need to have something that will give you the same quality no matter if you are on axis or off axis, especially for both, where those speakers most of the time are installed down. So you're up and you want to have the party still there with a good staging. So we think about it because many guys will also drive it loud because it's most of the time on the party on the boat. We also include something really nice on the tweeter to protect the tweeter. So many manufacturers don't have any protection at all on their tweeters. Some are using fuse that will blow if the person behind the volume control are pushing it too loud. We prefer to go a different way. So we use a poly switch, which is a kind of dynamic or active breaker. So the way it will work, as soon as we hit a certain point where we can stress the tweeter too much for distortion, too much power or such scenarios, the PT switch will just open. You'll lose your tweeter. and you just need to wait a bit, go with a more acceptable type of volume, and the system will resume by itself.
Very
So as a dealer, instead of having a customers in panic say, I just blown my tweeter, or I have issues, or just so it's kind of scenarios where you are in the boat and where the customers will be able to handle the situation a safer way.
I got to jump to the promo. Here it goes. I know Denny mentioned it at the top of the hour. What we're going to do is I'm going to run the promo on the bottom of the screen, and we're going to go with a quick break brought to you by Sirius XM.
There's never been a better time to have Sirius XM, with even more exclusive content, like over 140 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with Sirius XM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
All right, so there you have it. On the bottom, we got 2 draws. Denny, why don't you explain to the good folks that are watching what this is all about?
Yeah, for satellite Sirius XM radio, we're going to have 2 modules, and with a 1 full year subscription free. And the magic word for you for that will be satellite.
Oh, satellite.
Satellite.
Good.
You need to send that to email address info@sobelimports.com.
Perfect.
The draw will be done on April 19. For Pioneer, we're going to have 2 pair of speakers, marine speakers, TSME 650 FC. And the magic word will be Smart Sync. That's a C there. The same
Smart
thing.
Sync.
Send it to info@sobelimports.com, and the draw will be done on April the 19th.
Perfect. And now, last but not least, I want to bring this up so you can talk about this as well. The summer booking.
Yeah, summer booking is on until August the 31st. A lot of discount you can have with all the lines we carry. So it's available on our website. I invite you to go see our website, and all the details are there. We can contact your rep.
Awesome. Hey, Robert, we got to let you go. Thank you so much. We'll see you all on later on this week. Take care.
See you guys.
Thank you, Robert.
So, Denny, last but not least, you dropped a hammer on some really important information. Pioneer Marine now shipping through Sobel in stock, and the new amplifier should be coming very, very soon.
Right.
That's incredible news. And guys, again, if you're looking for some Pioneer product, don't hesitate. Give Sobel Imports a ring. I'm sure there's somebody that friendly to pick up the phone and help you out with your Pioneer needs. Thank you so much, Denny.
Thank you.
There you have it, guys. Another session in the bank. All day coverage here, coming to you live from CMA Industry Week, Day 6. Continuing our coverage and a spotlight on Sobel Imports. That's it for this session. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.